Welcome back, guys. I want to be covering what my financial targets are in 2021. So I'm not going to lie, this is a bit of a unique video for the channel, but the reason I want to do it is, one, to show you how to set your financial goals. It's already a month down. We're in the second month right now, about to go into the third month of the year, but it's not too late to set this out. And I also want to give you an idea of setting myself accountable to this, what I want to achieve by the end of the year. So the first thing we're going to be looking at with this, before we set any goals, is the outputs, okay? Now the outputs, also known, and you may hear this, of lag indicators, are the ultimate outcome. So it's one of those where people in business, it's just like, just work hard, just do more, just hustle, just push. And it's like, whoa, mate, chill out a little bit, okay? So it's not really gonna work like that. So you need to understand where you're actually going so you know what success looks like from in the first place. Now with business, it's almost always financially related. Not all the time. It could be about your team, it could be about happiness scores and stuff like that. But just for the sake of this video, and I'm guessing most of you, it's more about building the financial wealth, okay? So I know that I've got some ultimate goals this year. So number one is I want to add personal investment of £1 million. So I know that's a very high amount of money, I get it. And what I mean by personal investment for me is a big part of what I'm doing now is trying to give back in a way. And you'll hear me say quite a lot, have a head for business and a heart for the world. And I don't just want it to be a slogan that I'm known by. I want to start living into that. So I love money. I'm obsessed with it. I love sales. I love marketing. I have no qualms in sharing that. And you're probably watching this channel because you buy into that too, right? But have a head for business and a heart for the world. It's like, well, if you're just focusing on the business and not the world, then it's not really going to go too far. So several ways of doing this. So I do my stuff out in Africa, which I'm going to try and talk a lot more about because I've been doing that for years now with the schools, but I don't really share a lot of it, but maybe I should. I'm also officially a board member or a trustee, board of trustees for a local charity helping children in poverty get beds and looked after properly. And you might not think that's a big deal, but bear in mind there's 5,000 kids in Leeds alone that don't have a bed to sleep on right now. Absolutely crazy, right? So this is where it comes in. But another part of doing it on top of the charity is I want to start helping small businesses. And the way that I'm going to do this is by lending. I'm going to make return on it, obviously, but by lending to small businesses and helping them build up. So at the moment, it's mainly in property and activity-based businesses, but I'm going to branch that out and build it up year on year. So that's a personal, I want another £1 million in other people's businesses. I want to add probably 25 is a realistic goal. 25 houses, new property investments into my portfolio, and I probably want another £250,000 into what I call my sidekicks. So my sidekicks are things like I've got a trading account, I've got a scraping bot, some crypto, stuff like that. That is, for me, the higher risk stuff that if I lose the money, I don't want to lose the money, but if I did, it's not going to be the end of the world to me, okay? The other things that I want to really do is I've got two core businesses that I'm focusing on building up this year. One of them, we are looking at around 1.5 to 2 million. Normally, I'd be a lot more accurate with that, but we're looking at different models of how we're going to approach that. That's going to be our property business. And then in our education business, we're looking at around $1 million in that. Most of that's going to be reinvested back into it because right now as an educator, we're looking to reinvest into the infrastructure, the staffing, the marketing, the equipment for the channel, things like that. So we'll start building that up over time. So now that I understand the outputs, you start to get a good idea of the inputs from it. So you come back a step. Now, this is the most annoying bit because if I personally want 1 million, I'm not going to deep dive into all of those, by the way, but I'll just give you an idea. Say I want £1 million personally. That's a lot of money, I get it. It's a lot of money in anyone's books. But if I want £1 million to be paid to me give or take, okay, I will need to actually have 1.3 million. Tax man, thank you very much for playing such a major role in my life. So it's going to be 1.3 million. Then I've got my business partners. So, business partner Dan, it's not really fair for me to get that if he's not getting his share. 2.6 million. Then I've got to pay for the business, which is going to be around 600,000. So suddenly we are at 3.2 million. Then we're going to have variable expenses like looking after team members, bonuses, marketing spend, stuff like that, which is going to be around another 250,000. So let's round that up to 3.5 million. Wow, suddenly becomes a big deal, right? And then there's probably bits on top of that. So now I know in order for me to have 1 million to invest in other people, bear in mind, that's just one target. That's not buying the portfolios and all of that. I know that I need to make £3.5 million. What? Absolutely crazy. So there's a few different ways of doing this. So then we're taking back a step. And by the way, I know your goals, well, you might have bigger goals, by the way, and that's amazing. But if your goal is to pay 50 grand, that's brilliant as well. If it's 10 grand, that's insane. You know, it depends where you are. And something I'd encourage you right now is to not compare where you're at in your journey versus mine. Okay, because I've been doing this for 10 years, full time, working ridiculous hours to build this up. It's not an overnight success, okay? So the fact I started a YouTube channel just 6 months ago, this hasn't happened in the last 6 months. This has taken years to get to this point, okay? And remember, I've said it loads, growth is like that. And I'm probably at this stage now where the growth is accelerating. The last 9 years has been up until that point. Okay, so the only reason I'm really pushing that is please don't watch this and go, oh, I wish I could do that and all of that. You can do it, okay? I didn't start with any money. I started in debt. I didn't start with any experience. I started doing what you're doing right now. Got on some YouTube, educated myself, found the right people to work with, got educated, got mentors, and got on with this, okay? So that's all you need to do. It takes time. So that being said, now we need to work out the widgets, okay? So a widget is your mode of transport, what you're selling, your product or your service. So a majority of my businesses and how I make money is through property. So I do a lot of deal packaging, and that is from my active income, where a majority of my money comes from is deal packaging. You've seen the team in the background before. That's all a deal packaging business, every one of them in there, or trading. I then buy into property as well, but that is mostly residual income or passive, or as close as it gets to passive income. I also have my education businesses. So let's go through this and break it down a little. And I've got my phone here as a calculator to go through this. So if I'm looking for a package, we're averaging circa, it's like 6,600 and something as an average deal. Let's call it 6,500, okay? If I'm getting that 3.5 million and I need to get £6,500 per unit, that is a technical term, shit ton of money, right? So it's not going to have properties. It says 538 property trades. I am not likely to do that. It's probably going to end up being around 300 packages in there, okay? So if we've got 300, should be a decent target for this year. That's going to be 1.95 million. So it's pretty decent. And again, if we look at what the initial target was, with that, where are we? The bottom. 1.5 to 2 million. Suddenly you can see we're pretty on target with that, 1.95 million, right? So then we've got the education business. So if we say deal packaging, that's 1, and this is 1. So we've got 300 there. Number 2 is education. Now, again, what we're going to do with this is, Our average widget is averaging around 2,000, maybe let's call it 2,500. Now, that's not all products. There's some free stuff like this. Obviously, we do a lot of free content. There's also a lot of mentoring and masterminds that are obviously more expensive. And then I've got the elites that are doing tens of thousands every single month, and their mastermind and mentorship is more expensive. So let's say 2,500. Okay, now if we had our 3.5 million target and we're minusing the 1.95 that's coming off, and then we divide that by 2,500, we've got 620 individuals going through. That's probably a little bit toppy, I would say. You know, we are getting up there a little bit. So instead, what I think is actually realistic is probably about the 450 mark, okay? Now, that is not 450 one-to-ones or anything like that, because I wouldn't be able to facilitate that. I'm talking about the group coaching, the online programs and educational courses that I've got for people, okay? So 450 times the 2,500, we're looking at 1.125 million, okay? So again, if we go back to the original target of around $1 million, we're there or thereabouts by doing that, okay? Oops. So this is what we've got so far. So right now we've got the 1.95 million, and the just over $1 million in the education business. So we're currently at £3,075,000. Now, again, we're not at that 3.5 that I'd need to be achieving. So this is really important, because what I could do is go, oh yeah, just do more of this, just do more of that. But no, actually, there's a limit to how many deals I can get in my current operation. I'd need to hire, train, look at who I can bring in, and sometimes you need to realign your expectations. Now, I don't need to realign my expectations. I know to make another $500,000, I'm going to pick that up with my current investments that I've already got. That pay me passively, and I know with some trades. So for example, if you remember the High Wycombe Road property, if you've not watched that, go and watch that after this, where we made 60 grand in that deal. We'll do those trades over time and make those bit up in there, but I'm not going to include that. So if that's the end, that's where we're getting to. What I'm not going to do is go, oh, I'll educate 600 people. No, I won't. I don't have the operations for it right now, and the last thing I'm ever going to do is drop my value. And that's really important in business. If you take on and bite off more than you can chew, you're going to end up letting people down. And I promise you that how you make your money is always going to be more important than how much money you make, okay? And always have that approach of integrity as much as possible. And by the way, if you're watching this channel and you are interested in deal packaging specifically and how you can do this, are you going to do those numbers of deals? Absolutely not. It's taken me years to get to that point, but you can make 5 grand-ish per deal. And if you do one a month, obviously you can work out the math. But if you are interested, we are doing a series of free web classes right now. And what I'll do is Alex will put a link below and you can join for absolutely free. There will be an offer on there. And if you're interested, that's cool. If not, just enjoy the free content for now, right? But it will help you push to the next level. So now that we understand the numbers, this is what we need to be focusing on. Now, this is where conversions come in, and this is called a lapse, okay? So, you may have heard me talking about this before, but you've got leads, appointments, proposals, and sales. The difference with this, instead of working from here to here on your lapse model, you're starting the opposite way. So if I need 300 sales, I know I'm probably going to have to I'm going to be getting about a 20% conversion from sales to proposals. So sales is there. If I get 20%, i.e. 1 in 5, times that by 5, that's going to be 1,500. See where I'm going with this? So 1,500 proposals is probably going to be roughly the same appointments, because once you've booked an appointment with people, it's very rare for it to fall out. But I want to be really conservative and go over the top with that. Let's say there's 2,000 appointments, and again, you're probably going to end up needing about 5 times the amount of leads coming in to get those appointments booked. Okay, so 10,000 leads. So quite a lot of leads, right? Quite big. But even if you wanted to go, actually, I'm rubbish, I'm starting out, let's call it 20,000 leads. It's just like, whoa. Okay, it builds up quite quickly from that, okay? So if we're looking at £10 a lead, I know then that I'm going to have to invest £200,000 in marketing budget, which bear in mind I already took account of at the start. But that budget's going to have to come in to get that many leads. Now, look, are you going to go through this in the same way? No, you're not. Okay, you're not going to have those figures. But suddenly, you see how it tells a story. So let's just go through this now that we've gone from the end to the start. Let's go start to the finish. And hopefully by then, you're going to be able to work out your targets. Okay, so we know we're going to spend 200,000 on leads. I know that is a phenomenal amount of money. I get it, okay? So you can cut it down to whatever you want. I know that that's the spend. Then what's going to happen is the leads are going to come in. Those leads, we're going to get 20,000. Okay? We're going to get appointments from that. From those appointments, we're going to get, let's say 10%, which is not great. But let's say that happened. We're going to get 2,000. Of those, we're going to put proposals in front of them. Let's say for whatever reason, 25% don't turn up. So 1,500 turn up for it. And then sales from that, almost always are going to be about 20%. If you've never done a sale before, I'd expect around that. So you're going to get 300 sales. So from that, you obviously need to be able to facilitate that. So if we're getting 300 times 6,000, what did I say? 6,500 as the average fee that we're looking at. 100 times 6,500 is 650,000. Times that by 3, we are hitting that 1.95 million. So we're hitting that 1.75 to £2 million target. Now the thing is, if I just said, right, just go out there, do more marketing, do more sales, talk to more people, where would you have got to? You just don't know, right? But by understanding the outcome first, the lag indicators, you can then work back and understand what inputs you need to actually achieve these results and the spend you're going to need, the amount of leads, appointments, proposals to end up at those sales. And these are called your inputs or your lead indicators, what you need to go in as. So now that you've watched that, and it's important that you understand how to achieve that. These are my financial goals. They don't need to be reflective of yours. So that's just my financial routes. The other stuff is obviously more around this, but this is your financial planning for 2021. And now that you know this, you can go out there, work out what your targets are, your outputs, your lag indicators, work back through your sales, proposals, appointments, leads, and then your spend. Then go back through it and just to double check your working. And if you work to that and push yourself to that level, you are going to dramatically increase your opportunity of hitting that success rate by the end of 2021. So as I said, look, this isn't my normal video for this channel, but I wanted to give you an idea of one, I want to keep myself accountable to you guys. And by the way, feel free to put below what your targets are. I'd love to share in that accountability with you moving forward. Number two, I want to show you how we make our money. Most of it's in property, and then we educate people to do the same as ours. If you're interested in finding out more, amazing. There'll be a link below where you can find out more for free. And if you want to join us on one of the programs and help me towards my target, that'll be amazing, and obviously I'll help you towards yours in return. If not, just enjoy the free content. But if you are interested in learning more and immersing yourself into this, then of course, if you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to make sure you're notified about anything business, mindset, growth, and of course property investment. Smash the like button, it really does help me get this out to more people. And of course, I'll see you in the next video.